Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Breaststroke. It's not actually the full name of the particular puzzle, it's called Swim Competition Breaststroke, but I just, needed to squeeze it a bit to fit it onto the thumbnail here. Now, when you actually take a look at today's puzzle, you'll immediately recognize it as a willpower puzzle. It's another of these stick figure pictures on a Sudoku grid where it's far better than the artwork that I have here, so I'm actually going to just jump forward and just describe it. Fantastic work from Willpower as usual. You can see the definition of the swim lanes here in these thermometers. You can see that someone there is swimming between these lanes, very clearly demonstrating the best breaststroke. And I guess the fact that there are lanes kind of indicates the fact that it is in a swimming competition of some sort. Not quite sure what the KROPKI dots and the greater than cells are meant to represent in the swimming pool. So, as usual, looking forward to Willpower's puzzle. It's got a 96% rating as of the time of recording, so we're clearly in for a treat. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Then we have anti-kings. So cells that are a chess-king's move apart cannot have the same number. So clearly it can't be a 2 in the same column, can't be in the same row, can't be in the same box. But none of the cells that are immediately surrounding it, including diagonals, because all of these are a king's chess move away, could be a 2 either. So these cells cannot be 2, in addition to the normal Sudoku ones. What else do we have? Arrows, so numbers on the arrows sum to the number in the arrow circle. So essentially, whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever these 4 cells add up to, let's say it's 1, 2, and 3, let's say that's a 1. So they add up to 7, so the sum would have to go inside that circle. Now, there are quite a few arrows that are actually going towards this circle. So I can see 1, I can see 2, I can see 3, and I could see 4. Each of these are going to have to come up to the same sum that's in there. What else do we know? So we covered arrows. We've got thermometers, KROPKI and Maximus. Thermometers down here. If this is a 2, we have to keep increasing as you go away further from the bulb end. That's either 3 or higher. You don't have to have regular steps, a step of 1, a step of 2. All of that is good. However, you can never decrease alongside the thermometer. So that 4 being smaller than the 5, I've broken the puzzle. KROPKI pairs, numbers with a black dot between them, are in a 2 to 1 ratio. So if there's a 4 in here, this would have to be 2 or 8 to make sure that one cell is double the other. It does explicitly say not all possible dots are given. So if there's a 2 in here, clearly the 4 is in a 2 to 1 ratio to the 2 without a black KROPKI dot. Not a problem under today's rule sets. Then last but not least, we've got the Maximus. Cells shaded grey are greater than all the 4 orthogonally adjacent cells. I see 1, I see 2. These 2 cells have to be bigger than all of the orthogonally connected cells. So you've got 1, 2, or 3 in here, 3 being at least the maximum. This has to be 4 or higher, otherwise it would have broken that Maximus rule set. That's all the rules we have for today. So as always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, what definitely jumps across to me is the swimmer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells that add up to the same digit. This is quite tough, actually. So the minimum would be 1, 2, 3 in here, 1 in there, 1 in there. That's 6, that's 7, that's 8. This is at least 8 or 9. It's actually not 8. Because the minimum for the other leg of the swimmer, even if I make these 1, 2, 3, so that's the minimum, of course, because they're all in the same column, I can't make another 1. That would have to be 2. And because that's a 2, well, I'm already at 6, 7, 8, 9. That is definitely a 9, and that's our first digit. It also tells me, I think, that this has to be a 1, because in the leg that has a 2 on the foot, essentially I have to minimize everything else, otherwise I'm not going to fit inside the 9. So this has to be 1, that cannot be 1, this cannot be 3 because obviously the other side would be a 6, which is way too big for what we're trying to do here. So that has to be a 2. Now, one of these is a 1-3 pair with a 2 at the end. One of these is a 1-4 pair with a 1 at the end. and I don't know which is which. Clearly the 2 cannot be connected to a 3 in here. That's 1 or 4. It doesn't stop this from being 3. It doesn't stop this from being 1. It doesn't stop this from being 2. Actually, I'm kind of not thinking about anti-king's move. Let's just think about that for a second. So one of these cells is going to be a 1. Let's just give it a color. One of these cells is going to be a 2. Let's give it another color. Now, I don't actually have 2 in any of them, so I don't... this is not useful. Let's just stick with purple. Let's say purple is 1. Well, we know 1 has to be in one of these 2 cells. It would have to be this cell, because it can't be next to this one with anti-king's move. This would be 2. This would have to be 1. So, okay, so this would be 2. Now, if I make this the 1, I make this the 4 and I've broken it, because that's 2, 6, 8, 9, 10. That's way too big. So this side is the one that has to be 1, I believe, and therefore that's the 2. This is the 1, 4 side. This is the 3, 1. No, this is the 4, 1. No, that's not what I meant to do. That's the 1, 2, 3. Yep. And this is the 4, 1 side. So this is not 3. And this is not 1. That is 4. That is 1. That can't be 1. That's 3. That's 1. There we go. Very clever construction willpower as usual. This is not 1 or 2 or 3 for that matter. This is actually quite a large digit. So let's just double check. 4, 5, 6. That can't be 7. That's 8. That's 9. That is 4. This is 9. This is 8. This is 4. But there is a degree of freedom still. So this is 6, 7. This is 5, 6. And this is 4, 5. In here, we know it can't be 1. But it can actually be a 2. So a lot less useful actually. 9s, Sudoku says this is a 9. 1, Sudoku says 1 is in here. Far less useful. 4 is none of these. Oh, it doesn't matter. We've actually got a 4 in the column. Come on, Sleuth. No 3, no 3. Pretty sure that can't be 3. Yeah, that because 1 and 2 are not available. So no 3s in any of these. No 3. 3 is in one of these 2 cells. Not sure how that's useful. No 2, no 2. 2 is in one of these 2 cells. 1 is in one of these cells. Clearly can't be inside the maximum cell. 1 is in one of these 3 cells. Could be any of them. This is not very fruitful. Right, maybe less Sudoku, more variant to try and figure out what's going on in here. Right, so we are going to have to pencil mark this. I was trying to avoid it. 2, 3, 4. That can't be 5 on a black KROPKI dot. This is at least 6. This could, of course, be 7, 8, or 9. This cannot be 7, but it could be 8, and it can't be higher. This, sadly, has a lot of options. 4, 5, 6, 7. This can't be 4, but could be 5, 6, or 7. And this cannot be 4 again, but it could be 2, 3, 5, or 6. Not brilliant. 6 or 8 in here means that this is 3 or 4. Is that helpful? Maybe? Let's think about these arrows next, maybe. So 9 is none of these, none of these, none of these. Still too many options. 9 is not here, and obviously not on the cells surrounding the... 9 is in one of 2 cells. This is interesting. Yeah, it's not enough. 8 is none of these, also not enough. Right, arrows. Focus, Sleuth. So these are 3, 4 minimum. So the side that has the 4, I'm already at 1, 4. That's already at 5. And then I need 2 cells that add up to 4, which would have to be 1, 3. Obviously, that can't be the 1. In fact, if I minimize these, this is 1, 2, 3. That's 6. To get to 9, these are all 1, 2, 3. And equally, if I minimize this with a 1, a 3, that is 2, 5. That means these are 1, 2, 3, 4, except obviously neither of them are 1. This is 2, 3, 4. It ends up with a 2, 3, 4 triple in row 5, which gives me a 5 in here. That's a very odd 5. That's 6, 7. Then essentially what I have, actually that can't be a 2 anymore because we've got a 2, 3. In fact, where's the 2? Come on, Sleuth, that's not the 2. That is a 2. And then in the row, what I have is another 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 has to be in here because it can't be in either of these cells. This is 7, 8, 9. That is not a 7. 6 in here and not 8 and not 9. That means that this is forced to be a 7 where I've broken the puzzle with the anti-king move. How did that happen? I'm genuinely confused. How did that happen? Sorry, I'm going to rewind a bit. So I would agree that this is 6 or 8 because this is 4, and obviously I can't have 5. This is 6 or 8, which makes this 3 or 4. Because this is 1 or 2, this cannot be any higher. Now, one question in my mind actually is, why am I... Oh, because I've made a mistake restricting these to 3 and 4. That surely could be 3, 4, 5. That's the mistake I've made. You see, what I can do is have one of these edges add up to 8. And then I have a 1 in here to add up to 9. Now 1, 2, 5 is totally legitimate, but the 5 is restricted to these cells because I can't have a 2 in here and then a 5 outside. So yeah, that's my mistake. I kind of rushed the pencil mark and forgot that there's more options, which sadly doesn't give me what I'm after in here. I mean, 3, 4, 5, not 9, not 8. I mean, this is still a relatively high digit and not 4. So this is 5, 6, or 7. And I say 5, 6, or 7. 7 is not that big. 8 is in one of these two cells. It's nowhere else. So 8 is in here, which gave me a 6, which gave me a 3, which wipes out the 3 from all of these. I don't know why I had a 3, by the way, with a corner pencil mark. I don't think I need to, do I? I don't think that forces the 3 in here. That was, again, more bad pencil marking on my part. But Sudoku says that 3 has to be in here, so that is a 3. 4 and 5 means that is a 2, which makes this a 1, makes this not 2, makes this 2. So some of this is still correct. Now, what am I at already? 1, 2, 1. That's already at 4. I need a 5 to make this get to 9, which makes this a 4. This is still ambiguous, 5 or 6. Now, this cell can't be 8, and it has to be smaller than whatever's in here. So technically, this is 6. I mean, what are all the remaining options? 1, 2, 3 are all gone. As is 4, as is 5. That's the minimum of 6, and because that's the maximum of 7, it's forced. And then down here, we have a 4, 8 pair. And then that 7 fixes this. This is 6, this is 5. There we go. Right, we're on the right track now. This is 7, 8, 9. These are 7, 8, 9s, although obviously this is not a 7. We've got a couple more digits in here, 3 and something. 3, 5. That can't be 3. That's 5. That's 3. That's not 3. This is 4, which means these two cells need to add up to 5. The only way I can make that work is 1 and 4. These are not 1s. Neither are these. Neither is this. Excellent. I think we've used almost all of our pencil marks at this point. So I've got another 7, 8, 9, and a 6, which can only be in here. Therefore, this is the 7, 8, or 9. And where do we go from here? Can probably tidy this up a bit. Oh, 6 is actually quite useful. This is not 6 or 7. And therefore, to be under 4 or 5, the only option seems to be the 3. Yes, because 4 is not available. 5 is not available. And then 6 is too big because that can't be. Yeah. 3, 2. 4 gave me 8 and 4. 8 in here means these are not 8s. There's an 8 in there, therefore this is not 8. This is 7 or 9. And then in here, I have another 7, 9, and a 5, which can't be this cell. That's the 5. That's the second 7, 9. These are known digits of 4 and 8, unresolved. That 4 resolves this 5. And that's all I can see for now. I think that's all the variance done except for this cell. So we may as well just do a bunch of Sudokus. Now, a long time ago, somebody pointed out in one of the comments that anti-king seems to always result in roping. I'm not sure that's true, by the way, because I've never proven it. I did explore it, but I've never proven it. So just Sudoku, by the way, plain Sudoku and king's move. So 3 is restricted down here. 3 has to be up there, but it can't be this cell. That's 3. That's the only place for a 9. Not very useful maximum, I guess, or at least no further of use. So that is very much down to Sudoku at this point. Which I'm genuinely surprised why I struggle with so much. Right, king's move, Sudoku, Sudoku. That's the only place for 1. That's 1, that's 1. I think that's all the 1s done. Is it when you combine anti-king and chess knight that it has that roping effect? That seems more plausible. Maybe I'm misremembering what the comment was. Not a 2. 2's in here, as is 7 and 6. Okay. And this is 6 or 7. Not hugely useful. So what am I missing? Kind of struggling a bit here to see things that are a bit more obvious, so I don't have to do tons of pencil marking. I think I have to have 5, 6, and 7 in here. That's the 5, which means this is 6 or 7, and this is another 6 or 7. So in the row now, I need 4, 8, and 9. 9 is in here. 4 is not there. 8 or 9, 4 or 8. And this is any of the 3, unfortunately. That gives me 8, 9 in the column, which means these two cells are 5, which can't be in here, and 7, which has to be in there. These 3 now, I need a 2, which can only be in here. 6 and 8, I'm going to say. 6, 8 means 9, 4, 8. Now these are helpful. 9 gave me 8 here. Not 8. 9 and 7, can't see anything. Can't see anything. Nope. I mean, I can easily see how I'm going to not spot some kind of knight move for a long, not knight, excuse me, king's move for quite some time. And you guys will. That's 7, that's 9, that's 7 again. In here I need 2, 8 and 9, I'm going to say. Down here we need 4, 7, 4, 6 and 7. I don't know why I'm just aimlessly pencil marking. I should be just looking for things that would be easier to complete, but it's not jumping off the page at me, if I'm honest. So I have another 2, 6, 8 and a 4 somewhere in here. So this is 2 or 4 because it's not 6 or 8, and this is 4, 6 or 8. Okay. Oh, that's a 9, pardon me. That's 7. That's not 7. So that's a 4, 6, 8 triple, and therefore these are a pair of 3, 6, I'm going to say. No, 3, 3, 9. That's the 9, that's the 3, which doesn't seem to help somehow. Okay. 2 is none of these, not very useful. 4, 6, 8, 7, again not very useful. Well, 4s are not here, but I still have plenty of places for 4s. 2, 7, 8, 9. Well, 9 has to be in here now. That's 2, that's 8. This is not 8. It gives me a 4, 6 pair, and therefore another 8, another 4, not a 4, 6, 7. Has that helped? 6, 7. Oh, yes, of course, 7. There you go. It's going to be one of those that was going to catch me out. That's 6, that's 2, that's 7. That 2 gave me 4, 6, 4, 7, 6, and we're nearly done. 2 is in here, 5 is in there, 7 is in here, and if I've not made any mistakes, well, I did make one, but I rewound and found it, and that's an 8 for the finish. So, beautiful puzzle, Willpower. Another exceptional one. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.